everyone, and welcome to another game of World of Warships. Today's replay is from Maestron 1, and he is in the Montana, Tier 10 US battleship. He is on the map hotspot in a 3-point domination game. Well, obviously it's a Tier 10 battle. There is one poor Tier 8 that got screwed over on each side. And well, we only have one destroyer. There's a carrier, well, he's division with one, so that was I guess expected. And he's also division with a booster. So they decided to go to the A cap here first. It's also where the only friendly destroyer is, so that seems like a pretty good choice. And it looks like the enemy enemy Minotaur is down. So great start. There also doesn't seem to be any radar nearby, so the friendlies should be able to cap here without too many problems. Over at the C cap, well, there's a lot of enemies, so the friendlies will probably not be able to do much. I mean, I guess the Minotaur could try to go into this cap and use an island, but this is somewhat risky. Now, the friendlies have a very large presence here, which means they should already consider moving out more towards the B cap. The north here seems to be pretty clear, so they aren't sailing into any crossfires by sailing towards B. And I mean, they could push here straight through A, but I could stay around here and go towards B. Also, enemy Harugumo is spotted here. It looks like he's trying to smoke, and he's probably currently raided, or was... Oh, and now he's raided by the booster. But he's also beached against this island, and we've got 5 overpens there. Now, Harugumo is one of the destroyers that you can still penetrate with armor piercing, so... a bit unlucky there, I guess. But the Harugumo is going down regardless. And it will be pretty nice, because that means the enemy team is now without a DD. So the enemy team meanwhile is pushing strongly around the C cap. The enemy team actually has a triple battleship division. I think those are those guys in the 9 line right now. Now, considering they are in a division, they really should consider pushing the C cap, because the enemy probably wants to get some caps here. And friendly Moskva coming in here for a quick hug. It looks like the Moskva wanted to go left here. Not sure why he wanted to go around this way. But if the Moskva wants to go left, he really should just slow down and, well, I mean, let the Montana pass. But, you know. Now, the Montana definitely doesn't wanna turn here. He wants to use all of his guns towards the tipper. And that's exactly why. Now, Maestron is starting to slow down here a little bit. It looks like that Moskva really just would have stayed by his side otherwise. Maybe the Moskva just is really into hugging. So overall, this battle is going splendid. The friendlies are now in the process of taking B. There is not really a threat to the gearing right now. Friendlies are 2 ships ahead, the enemy is out of destroyers. So yeah, at this point the friendlies can take it slow and, well, let the enemy come. Basically, worst thing the friendlies could do would be to rush the enemy right now and get sunk. So we still have a Yamato and an Alsace a bit in the backline. The Alsace is coming around here and will probably be in a good position here up in the north. The Yamato should really get going, like... I mean, the friendlies don't need to rush in, but the Yamato would be best positioned, well, I mean, somewhere around here where Maestron now is, or a bit here in the south. I guess the south would be pretty good, because it looks like the enemy battleships are pushing in from that way, and if we have the friendly battleships to meet that charge, that would be ideal. Now we also have the gearing here, who, after taking B, the gearing would probably be best served to try to torp this triple battleship division, I guess. You could also stay here inside B and try to torp in, but the C has too many islands to get reliant torps off. What the gearing really doesn't want to do is stay too close to the Des Moines. Now, we don't know exactly where the Des Moines right now is. But we'd assume he is inside sea and therefore probably in range to radar that gearing. Which means he's... I'm not sure why he smoked there. I don't think he can shoot anything. But what gearing should do is run. Run this way, right? So... run away from the Des Moines. Get maybe down here in the south in the open water and maybe try to torp those battleships. So we know where the Des Moines is now. Shells are on the way. And yeah, the gearing looks to be radared because there were shells flying into his smoke. I'm not sure why he's just sitting there inside his smoke anyway. And if he runs, like, not run away this way, right? This island here doesn't provide any cover. And is, well, probably radared. So, like, if running away, he'd want to run away where the island is. Like, use the big part of the island. Maybe just hug the island tightly, wait for a radar to be gone. But okay, so the friendlies are down a gearing too. Still equal on ships. Now, the enemy battleship division seems to be pushing around here in the south. That's kind of good news for the friendlies because they aren't taking objectives over there. It also means that the Montana can't, like, you can't push into triple battleship with your battleship and expect to come out on top. Also, the Kremlin is pushing here, well, might be pushing here closer to the cap and the Iowa, so he pushes between them, he gets himself surrounded and crossfired. So he might just want to stay around where he is right now and try to engage those guys at range. For now. It's also like the friendly Yamato is not in a position to help anyone, so it would be good if that Yamato came around and actually joined the fight a bit more. Now we have the friendly Montana here, and the two Montanas might be able to get some nice crossfires going, because they are chasing that Montana. They might just be showing quite a bit of broadside to Mestron here. And it looks like Mestron is trying to trash talk the enemy battleship division there. But you know, don't interrupt an enemy when they are making a mistake. It's just rude. I think it's one of Jingle's sayings, but kinda accurate. Don't make those people aware that they aren't playing that well. So yeah, it looks like the Kremlin is exactly doing what I expected. He's actually pushing the Iowa. I would have feared the Iowa would help. So that's a bit of a problem, because the Wooster doesn't really have much cover there. He doesn't have smoke there, and that Wooster really needs help against that Kremlin. But Mestron can't just... well, I mean, he probably don't want to brawl that much with a Kremlin, but if he turned around and pushed that Kremlin, then he would be getting flanked by those battleships. But if that Kremlin actually pushes straight into B, maybe he can get himself some broadside shots into the Kremlin. So that's the good news here. Now the Yamato is almost there. Like, the Yamato and friendly Montana, they could potentially create a crossfire on the enemy Kremlin. If the Yamato ever comes around this corner and rejoins the fight. Meanwhile, Mestron is doing a very good job of just getting good hits at enemy battleships that are just keep chasing the Montana. And that Montana, despite being in the J line, is actually doing a good job of kiting 3 enemy battleships that are doing nothing else than just chasing him. And yeah, I think it might just be time to engage the Kremlin here. Now, Mestron himself is now pretty broadside to this Republic, but he is in the process of turning right now. And let's just see. Fully broadside Kremlin. What does RNGesus say? And he saith no. Well, that's a bit unfortunate. Now the fighting Montana here, the friendly, got taken down. And it might just be time to turn this around and start engaging. Now first of all, the biggest threat here is the Kremlin, because the Kremlin is pushing the friendly Wooster. The Kremlin is angling against the Yamato, so he's showing broadside here. And that means maybe we can get some good shells here finally. There is a citadel. It's more likely we want it. Unfortunately, it looks like the friendly Wooster is going down there, although the Kremlin should be going down too. So the enemy battleships like the Iowa and the Georgia staying in the back and the Conqueror still a bit in the back means that Mestron can now engage this Republic without ending up in a crossfire himself, which is very good, especially with the Kremlin taken care of. The Kremlin could have been a problem, but he was too focused on the immediate threats. Now points-wise the friendlies are doing splendidly. Ship-wise the enemy team is still into this, I guess, but we will see. And well, some trash talk before the engagement. And some nice citadels there. So looks like the Republic was not prepared, because like the Republic could have just returned the favor if he had his guns armed and aimed. So let's try the Conqueror next. Now the Iowa here is a potential problem. If he keeps pushing this way, like the Iowa will have some very nice shots at him. Good salvo against the Conqueror here. So he's keeping an eye on the Iowa towards his left. The Iowa though is focused on the Yamato, so it looks like he is fine there. And he can give this Conqueror his full attention. Now, let's see what he can do to the Conqueror. Let's also see if the Conqueror tries to load armor piercing and then return the favor. So shares are out. 11 penetrations. Well, that seems pretty nice, but the Conqueror has activated his heal and is printing a new ship. And it also looks like once again the Conqueror didn't try to get armor piercing shells into the Montana's broadside, which is pretty nice for Montana, isn't it?
The ship is on fire.
So Conqueror is angled, so he aims high into his superstructure. And that's a lot of damage. So looks like the super heal is not saving our Conqueror here. Also looks like that Conqueror is... was a pretty good high explosive salvo there from the Conqueror, but too little too late, I guess. And this more or less concludes this battle, because there is almost no enemy remaining and the friendlies are about to reach 1000 points. So let's just speed up the last seconds here. Well, he tries to get some more shells off, but you know, this will just end in a win here. Here we are with the results. Mestron earned himself 2942 base experience, and very nicely done by him. He supported the cap early on, then he played it safe when the friendlies had the advantage, and took the opportunity when it arose to push in and wreck some ships. He earned himself a Confederate, a Dreadnought and a high caliber, scoring 313,000 points of damage. So I hope you enjoyed watching this, and I'll see you guys next time.